Hey, just letting you know this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Want to watch my reaction? Click on the free gift in my pinned comment. Or join my Asha Media TV Club to access all of my unfiltered reactions. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Upload. Okay. Well, that was quite a memorable episode. I actually really liked it. Very good. This is amazing. We're on a roll here. And it was kind of like that for me in season 1. There was consecutive episodes of me enjoying what was kind of going on. With your occasional cringy, wince-worthy lines for me personally. But then it's when we reached the last 2 episodes, like 9 and 10 were not my favorites. If you watched my reaction or even review of that, then you know. So I'm a bit nervous because we're going into episodes 6 and 7, the last 2 of this season, and will they drop the ball? I don't know. Well, I made a promise at the beginning of this binge watch process to try my best to look at it half full, the glass half full instead of half empty, which in general is something I am practicing just for my own personal development with everything I'm watching these days. So I really am making a concerted effort. So be patient with me. Okay, so anyway, let's focus here. Now, I think it's safe to say that Choke, I mean, on one end, I could see how, oh, right, it's obvious he's a billionaire. How could he not have some vested interest in this whole scenario from the very beginning? And who else better to keep an eye on Nathan than being his neighbor? But because they showed that so much in our faces from the very beginning, it was effective in making you just kind of forget that he likely could be involved until now. So it's not a surprise, but a good surprise. Right? If that makes any sense. Now, what's he going to do about it? We're back to the same thing where towards now the end of the season, they got to come up with a strategic plan to expose everything and somehow still save the day in some fashion. And this is a start with exposing his thoughts to the public. Oh, goodness. Can you imagine being able to do that? I could think of some public figures who, even for just one full minute of hearing their thoughts, I think they would ruin their whole lives, depending on who ends up listening and recording and taking note of it anyway. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I like how they did that. Now, getting it back to Ingrid's dad, though, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's Choke and then there's Ingrid's dad that he still has to confront. And so that's why I'm wondering, what are we doing with Ingrid's character here? Because this entire episode was, for me, for Ingrid, I'm talking about just the Ingrid part, with this whole baby thing. Nothing really came out of that. You let me know if you saw something progressed for this character. It was completely wasted. There was no moment where she realized anything for herself in terms of wanting to be a parent. If anything, maybe she just realized she's not that good at it. Considering it seemed as if it was like a 24-hour period where this baby went from baby stage to dying stage, there was nothing to hook me to her, seeing her learn anything. Yet they had so much focus on showing how much she wanted that experience. That was all just for fluff of laughter, but it's not easy to laugh at if there's really nothing going on. The only entertaining aspect of it was seeing the baby grow up with that guy's face deep faked on certain bodies at certain development stages, and that was pretty much it. And then the way she named him is probably going to be the most funniest thing for me, because he interpreted Noah when she was really just trying to think of a name for him. I don't know. That was very wasted for that character. That's probably, for me, the most disappointing part of this episode was Ingrid. They did nothing with her. They might as well just have benched her character, let her go do something else, perhaps she had some special meeting or what thereof, and then have extra scenes with something else. But I know for the actress, each actor are probably contracted to be in every episode and have some narrative. But with everything that they've been clever about, I thought they would at least be somewhat more clever and creative with Ingrid, beyond what was shown. Anyways, that's just first impressions for that. Alright, well, I'm not going to touch too much on the whole thing with Alicia and Luke. it is what it is. I said enough in my last reaction, so if you want my full thoughts about that, if you haven't watched my last reaction video to the previous episode, that's where I really make it quite clear my stand on it. I'll just give you, in short, I'm not for it. Okay, I'm hashtag Luke and Yang. Luke and Yang forever. Okay, not Luke and Lilisha. I'm not buying it. It feels very forced. Especially if she ends up feeling for him, which I think she's starting to. Whatever. So I don't care for that. Now, I hope we touch back with Mateo and Nora. Some of their tension there. I'm assuming we're going to at least touch back on that in the next episode. So I look forward to seeing where things are going to go there, because it is getting, again, sexually awkward in terms of tension between Nora and Nathan. And with 2 more episodes to go, they're going to cram it in where they're just going to have a moment to just express their feelings to each other, or it's going to be something that will come out of the woodworks to prevent that. And then we don't have any type of reconciliation with these 2 characters until another season is presented. If another season is presented. Probably should have looked up to see if a 3rd season was announced, but it's not that big of a deal. However, how they end the season is what's going to matter, and if it's going to have some conclusion with these 2, Nora and Nathan, that would be great, but I understand if they may not have that much of a conclusion with them, and it would be quite unfortunate if there is no 3rd season. So it would have made their story. Well, you know what? No, let me not jump the gun. I still have 2 more episodes to go. I guess what I'm trying to express is I hope they don't rush too much of trying to go from point A to point Z in the next 2 episodes, but they just might. Let's move on. Yeah, the Lucy character, she's overstayed her welcome for me. I don't like her. She's not meant to be a likable character, but she's not even that type of character you like to hate, personally. You get those characters, right? They're enjoyable to hate. Kind of like Alicia, but I don't hate Alicia. I just don't like the way she's written at times. But she's been a lot better than what I've been perceiving in previous episodes. But Lucy, she's crazy. Like, she's really psychotic, and I don't know if that's even necessary. I have to always understand that this show is going to exploit the exaggeration of these characters, so I really have to remember that. But I'm just saying it makes it hard for me to like them because of that exaggeration. This whole thoughts technology. Okay, let me talk about that a little bit, because that's conversation worthy. So imagine this technology, right? Where you can just upload people's dreams to whatever you want because you own the IP. As they clearly stated, that is beyond horrific and frightening. And selling, basically someone's thoughts, just the thought of owning it as a corporation because they're using your system to have their consciousnesses there to live, that is frightening. And as much as this show is trying to show the extremes of possibilities with technology and how in the wrong hands they can be exploited, used, abused, you name it, I also like how they're showing that as long as you know what to do, you can also use that technology for the greater good, as they're trying to do to expose that choke guy. But it is frightening overall in concept, isn't it? Oh my gosh. And that they're just touching a superficial level of what I'm sure some corporations aspire to do so that they can not only make profit, but they can also have some control over the lives of people in order to stay on top. Lot of layers there of conversation, a lot of layers. But I just mean in a general sense, and it's so frightening. And I think they did a really good job, especially just having Nathan say, this is horrifying. Like, plain and simple, not much conversation there needed. It's horrifying. And it's such an invasion. Like, where's the line that you draw to anything being private at all? Now, speaking of private, yes, that whole thing with Luke listening or sensing the screen grab, how does he know that's happening somehow? Where he even picked up on the fact that he's being watched and his dreams are being stolen. What is that? What is that saying? How is Luke, like, are they trying to show that he has an ability that intuitively allows him to sense what's going on in the programming? That's all I could think of, is maybe that's a clue in that there's something special about Luke. Because how does he sense all that? And Alicia is taking him seriously, all the more so finding out he was right about the dreams, and then she confirms it with Lucy. So that is interesting. That screen grab moment really freaked me out. Because Lucy's doing that and he's sensing it. Because if he does have some kind of ability with that, then I guess that's something they can use as they're trying to navigate the scenarios that's happening with them at Lakeview, and he would be able to sense whatever's happening on the level of features and controls being used. Sorry if I'm not saying that right, but I think you get what I mean. I hope you get what I mean. All right, good episode. Good episode. I'm very, 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 very nervous about the next two, but I'm pressing play on it anyway. So there you have it. Those are my afterthoughts for episode 5 from the second season of Upload. If you want to binge all of my reactions all at once, join my club at ashamediatvclub.com. Link is in the description box for you. So until I press play on episode 6 and share my afterthoughts with you about it, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.